Today, the housing headlines that we're going to be digging into is number one, Dave Ramsey's mortgage rate prediction. Number two, do you really need $1 million to buy a starter home in half the United States? And number three, 1/3 of homeowners regret buying a house. Is this all true? Now, if you're new to the channel, I've been a mortgage lender for the last 18 years. I lend across America. Personally, I'm licensed in 48 states. My team's in 50. We are one of the top purchase teams in America, which means every single day it's crossing my desk what people are buying and what's going on in the market. And one of the big problems right now is headlines that make zero sense. So let's start with Dave Ramsey's mortgage predictions. Now, it's really important I read you the headline. Please hold. This was with The Street. The Street is like a real estate type magazine, but they do a good job on social media, and a lot of what they do gets picked up. Dave Ramsey predicts major mortgage rate changes are coming soon. Okay, so you read the article, and there's a couple things that are just hysterical. I have to read it to you. In an exclusive interview with The Street, financial guru Dave Ramsey shares his surprising take on how the housing market will evolve over the next year and what home buyers should keep an eye out for. Are you guys ready? Ramsey highlights that slightly lower mortgage rates may be enough of a catalyst to spark housing activity again. Yep. So in this exclusive interview, he said, hey guys, if rates go down a little bit, we're going to see more people buying houses because there's a lot of people on the sideline right now. Okay, yep, we've been all saying that for 3 years. Cool. Okay, hold on. Let's see what else. I don't think home prices are going to drop. If interest rates were to tick down 1 or 2 points, does he mean percent? I think we'd see the thing catch on fire, Ramsey said. I think some of the people that are sitting on the sidelines would jump back in the game. Okay, so if you guys are like, wait, did she just say the same part twice? No, guys, I'm just reading you the article, honestly, truly. So then we go down further. And it says, Dave Ramsey predicts improved buyer confidence and lower mortgage rates in the near future. Okay, get ready for this. I need you guys to write this down. This one's important. After several months of consistent mortgage rate declines, rates jumped back up to 6.76 last week. Ramsey speculates, this is the prediction, that there is a 50-50 chance home buyers react negatively to tariffs and rising prices. 50-50. That's not a prediction, right? And it goes on. And like, here's the thing. He's like, the one thing I'll give him credit for, and if you guys don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he's basically a financial guru since the 80s, has been yelling at Americans about their debt. That's his whole thing. It's like you call in and you're like, hey, I'm really in trouble. And he's like, oh, okay, what's going on with your life? Well, I have some debt. You have what? Like, that's the entire thing, you know. And look, he's helped a lot of people get out of debt with baby steps by telling them to pay off their debt and not take out more. But he also makes money by referring real estate agents. So that's why he talks about the housing market a lot. But it's really interesting to see because this article makes it sound like you're going to get these huge predictions, but there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And I will give him credit for this. This is how the article ends. I actually predicted wrongly that we'd be in a good boom market by right now, he explained. So I don't know if I know what I'm saying is right or not, but they'll probably fall. I'm just a glass half full guy, so I'm looking for this market to come back. Okay, let's go to the next story. So the next story has been everywhere. Like what I thought were legitimate publications had it as a headline as well, which was really troubling for me. But Instagram, TikTok, all the bloggers, you know, on X, there's housing market dooms people where they glom on to any headline. what I've noticed is that either no one's reading the articles and what this stuff is based on, or they just don't care. So, do you need $1 million to buy a starter home in half the United States? No, but that's what the headline says. The headline says in half of the United States, you now need $1 million to buy a house. Okay, that's a big headline. So, where is this data coming from? Zillow. Okay, well, Zillow must have really good data. So, for someone to say something like this, Zillow must have data that shows that half of the United States houses start at $1 million. No, no, and that's not even what the Zillow report said. I looked at the original, I'm going to call it a blog that Zillow put out that was labeled close to this. And here's the deal. So, Zillow was looking at housing prices between 2020 and now, and they were looking at cities in the United States where they considered you would need 1 million to buy a starter home from then to now. And yes, it's increased, obviously. Like, home prices across the United States have gone up since 2020. Shocking, I know. Anyways, but here's the thing. So, they did not say in half the United States you need $1 million to buy a starter home. They said in half the United States, there's at least one city where you need $1 million to buy a starter home. Here's the problem with the report that goes further. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, how are you quantifying what a starter home is, right? Also, where's the list of all these cities, and how many cities were surveyed, and how are you defining a city, right? That's the thing. If you look at the list, it's basically 231 cities, but we don't know the definition of a city for them. And you look at just California. We'll use California as an example because they had the most. So of that 231, California had 131 cities on the list. So I was like, okay, let's just see if AI can show me something. And I go and it's showing me that California, there's 431 cities. So not even half of California, you need $1 million to buy a starter home. If that stat is how they're quantifying a city. I looked at it another way where it's like, it depends on if they can included townships, the size of the city. If you do cities, townships, areas in the United States overall, right? Remember, they said 231, 19,000. 19,000, guys. So there's nothing that shows you how this data came to be. It's just another one of those headlines. The Zillow report is far less inflammatory than the way all these media outlets took it. But I literally now have people saying to me, Jen, I don't have $1 million. And I'm like, you're in Ohio. You don't need it. Like, you're fine. Like, everybody's fine. Even in California, I always think of Lake County because Lake County, beautiful lake, mountains, gorgeous wine country. Houses are like $300,000 in California. So that's another one of those things where the media has taken something and spun it, which isn't uncommon. Zillow, Realtor, even Homes, Redfin, all of them do these blogs and reports and have it pushed out via their PR to all of these different news sources, because with the 24/7 news cycle, people are always looking for clickbait. This is another example. Okay, let's talk about the 1/3 of home owners regret buying a house. That one was even funnier. So that one, it came up to me because there's a gal I follow on X. I don't actually follow her. She just shows up in my feed, but she hates the housing market. Her whole thing is like, it's going to fail. And she's a housing expert, but she's not on LinkedIn. No one can find out what her real job is. She's just an ex-housing expert. Anyways, so I dig into the article she's referencing and I'm like, okay, they're saying 1/3 of home owners had regret of buying a house. Oh, guys. Okay. Let me just get this pulled up. At some point, I just give up, right? It's just so ridiculous. So you're like, wow, that's a big statistic. What report did they get this from? Yeah, it's from a blog. A life insurance company surveyed, excuse me, not life insurance, a home insurance company surveyed 1,065 of their customers. Homeowners insurance, guys, 1,065 of their customers, and they found that 31% of first-time homebuyers experienced buyer's remorse. Only 9% felt they shouldn't have bought it. So this remorse isn't about buying a house. This remorse is about 38%, they felt like they were pressured to make a quick decision. Now look, if you were buying in 21 and 22, yeah, my guess is in most of the country, your real estate agent was pressuring you. 17% skipped a home inspection, and they have remorse about that. Yeah, I understand that. That makes sense too. And 1 in 4 first-time homeowners rated their financial knowledge as inadequate when purchasing their first home.